This is TalkSport Extra Time. I'm Mike Graham, and it is time, of course, for the Porky quiz. Mike Parry's here, and if anything else, if we only ever just heard the signature tune of that fantastic show, that would be quite a good reason to do this.
It certainly would, yeah.
That's not the only reason, because you did say earlier this week that you wanted to have a quiz on the Sweeney.
Yes.
After the quiz that we did last week on Columbo, which you did very well on, I have to say.
And should have done better.
Well...
And got tremendous public sympathy from our millions of listeners who said that either you were too harsh with the answers, not even giving me the leeway of a year each way on the death of Peter Falk, who played Columbo, or actually giving me misleading questions.
Well, I'm not giving you any misleading questions. I am provided with the questions by the independent quiz masters.
You always say
I've got them here. As ever, if you get one correct, you will hear this.
Get your trousers on. You're nicked.
Right.
If you get one wrong, you'll hear this.
Shatty.
Oh, okay.
So, you'll remember those
Sounds
phrases.
Good.
Now, are you ready for 10 questions?
I certainly am.
We'll try and give you some leeway if at all possible, but, you know, sometimes the questions just don't allow for it. Question number 1. Okay. Can you name the 3 movie versions made of the TV series?
There was, with Reagan and Carter, there was Sweeney 2.
Yeah.
And then the third one was made with Ray, what's his name, from Scum, 3 years ago. And that was called the Sweeney.
Correct.
Thank you.
Get your trousers on.
Thank you. Hey, that's brilliant.
One out of 1. That's very good.
Brilliant.
Now, question number 2. You may have partially answered.
You're nicked.
Who starred as Reagan and Carter in the 2012 version?
I've just told you, Ray...
you said Ray, what's his name?
Yeah, Ray...
You can't get a point for that.
Ray... You know what I'm talking about. He played...
Well, I might know who you're talking about, but you've got to give me his name.
Yeah, well, do you know what? I had a drinking session with him at the World Cup in Germany. He's a great guy. Ray Winstone.
Okay.
Ray Winstone.
Yes.
Played Reagan.
Yeah.
And Carter was played by... Carter. You see, once again, you're cheating.
Why am I cheating?
Because the Sweeney that I want the questions asked on are the Sweeney TV series, not a film that was made 2 years ago.
You wanted questions on the Sweeney.
The Sweeney, you know exactly what I meant. I meant the one that the...
Well, I know what you're moaning about. You've already got the first one right.
No, well, I can only tell you it was Ray Winstone and maybe that guy who plays the Geordie guy in Inspector George Gently.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Neither do I. I'll give you half a point for Ray Winstone.
Yeah, but it's such a bum question.
It's not a bum question.
It's not the... You see...
Ben Drew is the guy that was playing Carter.
Both your answers, right and wrong, come from the original Sweeney series. That's what the question should be on.
Well, I can't speak for that.
That was another gerrymandered question.
You've got 1.5 out of 2,
gerrymandered,
which is pretty good. Question number 3. Who was Jack and George's superior officer?
Haskins.
Yes.
Yes, Frank Haskins.
Frank Haskins,
Frank
correct.
Haskins, thank you.
Get your trousers on.
You don't object to that question, then?
Of course not, because it was from the original series.
Okay. Question number 4. What car did Bill usually drive Regan around in?
Right, there were 4 series of the Sweeney. In the first one, it was a Consul, but as the series developed into 2, 3 and 4, it became a Ford Granada.
Correct.
Thank you.
Get your trousers on. You're nicked.
So you've now got 3.5 out of 4.
Thank you.
Are you still upset about the questions?
Well, I'm upset about the one about the modern Sweeney film.
Unbelievable.
Because that wasn't the Sweeney.
Question number 5. What are the names of Regan's ex-wife and daughter?
What, in the series?
Why do you keep looking over in that direction?
Well, I'm not
you keep looking over in a direction. Have you got notes over there?
Of course I haven't got notes.
Do you have to get the producer to come in and make sure you haven't got any notes?
Of course you haven't, you idiot.
I think you should come in and check, because he keeps looking in the same direction. Just remove any pieces of paper.
Ridiculous.
Take away any pieces of paper, and he's just turned his phone off as well. Take his phone.
Me?
Take his phone. take his information device.
Don't be ridiculous. It's
Why
my
not?
phone.
Why?
Somebody might ring me.
No, nobody's going to ring you. You're on the radio.
All these are, if you have a look, all these are the subjects we've been doing tonight. As you can see.
What have you found? Have you found some crib notes?
Don't be ridiculous.
Oh, my goodness me.
Don't be ridiculous.
What is this? Detective Inspector Frank Hoskins, Garfield.
Oh, I don't know
Regan,
where that came from.
Originally Regan. Dear me. Listen, we'll forget that we found all this material, because I'm afraid the trouble is, you see, as soon as you start getting 4.5 out of 5, then we realise that we may have a problem. So, what are the names of Regan's ex-wife and daughter? Question number 5.
Sasha.
Pardon?
Sasha, I think, was his daughter. Sasha, I think, was his daughter, and his wife was Sharon.
Incorrect. It was Kate and Susie.
Okay.
So you're probably not going to get any right now that we've removed your cheating.
No.
Your pieces of crib sheets.
No.
Astonishing that you would cheat.
There is no crib sheet.
I'm going to take a picture of it in a minute.
Well, all I would say is there's no information on that bit of paper that you found which relates to any of the questions I got right.
You're Nick Sonny. No? Right, 6. Question number 6. You've got 3.5 out of 5, which is still pretty good. Yeah. Which of these stars did not appear in the Sweeney? Okay, so listen carefully to the names. Okay. Maureen Lipman, George Siegel, David Jason, Brian Blessed, and Linda LaPlante.
How many of them?
Well, I'm asking you for which one of them did not appear in the series.
What, just one?
Yeah, well, Maureen Lipman, George Siegel, David Jason, Brian Blessed and Linda LaPlante. The question says which of these stars did not appear in the Sweeney?
Yeah, so is it one or more than one?
Well, I don't know. I didn't write the question.
This is a very open-ended question, this. I want to know if it's 2 or 3 or 4 or 1.
I can't tell you that.
Right, run through them again.
Maureen Lipman. Do you think she was in it?
I think she was in it.
OK, George Siegel.
He was definitely in it.
David Jason.
He wasn't in it.
Brian Blessed.
He wasn't in it.
Linda LaPlante.
She wasn't in it.
All right, so you're saying that Maureen Lipman and George Siegel were in it, David Jason, Brian Blessed and Linda LaPlante were not.
I'll say that one of the others was. I'll say 3 were in it and 2 weren't.
Incorrect.
They
were all in it.
See, this is ridiculous. That was a ridiculously stupid question.
Right.
How many of them weren't? And they all were.
They were all in it.
That's another misleading question.
What does it say on your notes?
I haven't got any notes, and I didn't have any notes.
3.5 out of 6.
That was just amongst my papers I brought in for, what we were doing tonight.
OK. Question number 7. How many episodes were made?
4 series of 12, 48.
It's close enough, I'll give you that. 53 is the right
53?
answer.
Oh,
only because I'm feeling sorry for you.
No, I'll tell you what that was. There were some trailers made at the start.
No, they weren't. There was 3 series with 13 episodes, and 1 series was 14 episodes.
Excellent.
So I'll give you a point for that, even though I shouldn't really. 4.5. Who composed the theme music?
Theme music. Was it a guy called Barry? That's his surname. Is it John Barry?
Are you thinking aloud? Is that the answer?
I'm thinking aloud. Hang on. John Barry, yes. That's
incorrect. It's funny how you haven't got any right since I took your notes away.
I certainly have. I got the 48 number right.
No, you didn't. It was 53. I just happened to give it to you because I felt sorry for you.
Close enough.
4.5 out of 8. Question number 9. Which modern detective drama running from 2006-7 in TV here was inspired by the Sweeney?
Life on Mars?
Correct.
Get your trousers on. You're nicked.
5.5.
Didn't need a crib sheet for that, did I?
No, amazing.
No.
So you admit you had a crib sheet?
No, I don't admit I had a crib sheet. I didn't have a crib sheet, no. And I don't know what on earth the producer was coming in here scuffling a wrong amount among my research papers.
Crib sheet any second.
No.
Question number... He's still doing very well. This is almost as high as you got for the chocolate test. Question number 10. When did the last episode of the show, Jack or Knave, air? And that means, when did it air at the end of the series, basically?
I think that the first one...
I'm told I can give you 3 months either way.
OK, the first one was in January 1975, and the last one was at the end of 1978.
Well, when you say the end of 1978, are you saying December 1978?
I'm saying November 1978.
I'm giving you December 78, so you're correct. So
Get your trousers on.
So you get 6.5 out of 10. However, I think there's going to have to be a steward's inquiry because when I put out the notes that I've found from your desk, I'm going to have to ask the audience, I think, to decide whether to take any points off you.
Don't be ridiculous.
Because 6.5 out of 10
is brilliant.
Is generally speaking good. Yeah. But I have to say your performance in the second half, once we removed the crib sheet...
No, there's no crib sheet.
Well, I've just taken a picture of it. I'm about to tweet it out.
No, don't be ridiculous.
And you just admitted there was a crib sheet.
Well, all right. Well, in that case, here are, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 handwritten pages of information about stuff we were doing tonight. So take a picture of all those.
Have they got anything about the Sweeney?
Of course they haven't. Take a picture of all those.
This one's got only things about the Sweeney.
No, that was just to remind me we were doing the Sweeney quiz. That wasn't a crib sheet at all. And I wasn't even looking at it. When the producer came in, he gerrymandered the evidence. There was no evidence at all.
Let me read what it says here. Detective Chief Inspector Frank Haskins.
Right.
Garfield Morgan was the name of the actor.
Yes.
You've also written down Ian Kennedy Martin, who's the guy that wrote the show.
That's right, I knew that.
You've also wrote down 16mm film.
Yes.
You've also written down the driver's name was Bill.
Yes.
Played by Tony Allen.
Yes.
You've also written down that Richard Wilson was Haskins.
Yes.
You've also written down the names of the Sweeney films, Sweeney, Sweeney 2 and the Sweeney.
Yeah.
So there's at least 4 answers in that first piece of the crib sheet.
Not at all. Listen, when you said, right, we're doing the Sweeney now, I was hurriedly thinking in my head, right, now remember...
So you're saying you just wrote this out
I did.
then?
I wrote them down in the studio. I wrote them down in this studio without any outside information.
Where's the pad from which this piece of paper comes?
What do you mean was the pad?
Well, it's you write on A4 paper in the office, right?
Yes.
This is written on notebook, smaller paper.
Yes, that's right.
Which has clearly been folded up.
I had it in my pocket.
You had it in your pocket?
Blank piece of paper. I always carry a blank piece of paper around with me in case I get any ideas.
Have you got any more blank pieces of paper in your pocket?
I don't think so, no.
Because you've just used that one up. Listen, it's perfectly democratic. I don't think you would object to me asking the audience as to whether... Look at this face on you. You look as guilty as sin. How you ever got through with a life of crime, I'll never know.
They don't know the facts of the situation.
Filthy.
They don't know the facts of the situation.
Cheating nonsense.
Not at all.
Right,
not at all.
I'm going to ask the audience, please do tweet us at the 2 mics. How many points should we remove? He's got 6.5 out of 10. I will take a mean average. I'm minded to take away 3.
No.
Which would give him 3.5 out of 10.
I'm not having that.
This is Talk Sport.